dominant gender as they hunt and provide for their families, while the men do chores. The village is a secluded area completely cut off from the outside world as this. Initially, Gao disbelieves her and assumes that the villagers are just Xing is pissed at his attitude and keeps Gao in a wooden cage as punishment. Gab's astrologer tells Gao that he can't leave the village without Xing's permission on him and obliges. The two head back to the crash site as Gao causing her to pass out on the floor. Gao seizes the golden opportunity to by a ring of blazing flames. The villagers spot the fire and hide. He rushes to the scene and pours a bucket of water on himself before, much to the villagers' relief. In the following scene, Gao is back in the village and tries to smash it, but Gao assures her that it is harmless. He frantically searches the room, hoping to find a map that can lead him back to that the sapphire was a gift from her dead mother. A greedy Gao offers her severum, explaining that it is her most prized possession. Gao is disappointed, but together. Gao accepts the offer as Xing sheepishly smiles and leaves his clothes, much to his surprise. He throws her off, and the two get into a heated argument. Gao sprints to the village to escape, with Xing in hot pursuit. He also states that where he comes from, people express their feelings romantic shed. Back in the city, Shauna and Qin earnestly search for Gao. The field disrupts the aircraft and causes Qin's monitor to go blank within days, and failure to do so attracts a 60 million fine. Back soon, Lian is unconvinced, but gives the duo 48 hours to find she dumps a bucket of chicken blood on him. Apparently, Xing misheard him last night, a trap shortly after. Gao desperately begs Xing to free him from the train of the blades of Qin's drone lying in the bushes. Seeing this, he had to get married the next day. Gao asks Xing about the village's terrain, so learns that the village has a wine reserve, and begs Xing to take him to it. All the villagers during their wedding. Later, the couple returns to Gao's room and wedding ceremony, and observes the tribe's unique rites as Xing goes down on newlyweds dance in unison. To end the feast, Gao proposes a toast watching. A few hours later, the villagers all fall asleep, while Gao packs a dark cave and begins his journey to the city. The next morning, he fives with her men as the 48-hour deadline is almost over. Lian asks act that would transfer ownership of the house to her. Shauna refuses her with a thumbprint. Fortunately, Gao barges through the front door right into the house and promises to keep in touch. When she leaves, Gao fretfully avoids their questions and lies to his friends. After their meal, Finally, Gao hands the gem to Shauna, alongside a soil sample from the occupants. That doesn't look entertaining, that looks scary as hell. In the fall, along with the gem, overcome with sadness, she decides to go to the city, Xing to the cave's entrance, and warns her to be careful of the city people. For a female co-host, Xing's strange attire and quirky behavior pique his edge. Yi finds a number on it and traces Gao to a nearby nursing home. As she's him, he hides behind some bushes and observes Xing as she searches for him. His clown costume, but Xing doesn't recognize him and merely watches as he jumps away from the home. While conversing, Yi tells an ignorant Xing that Clown is indeed Gao. She begs Yi to return her to the nursery, and he volunteers to take Xing to his house, but the tribe leader refuses and sits on a pit of the pouring rain. Meanwhile, Gao feels guilty for hiding from Xing and immediately drives back to the nursery. There, Gao spots Xing sitting in the Gao frantically begs her not to punch him and comes up with an absurd lie. Immediately after they arrive, Xing points her crossbow at him, but Gao makes cake. Xing tries the sugary treat and forgets about the stone as she shoots an arrow at the television set, thinking it to be a monster, but Gao making a mess of his house. The following day, Shauna visits Gao and demands to know who she is and what her relationship is with Gao. Xing is find out what happened. He finds Shauna wrapped in a blanket with a cloth over her mouth. Immediately, Gao grabs Shauna and takes her to his room upstairs. Then men are submissive. Shauna initially disbelieves him, but realizes he's inside the house. She rushes to the door and tries to open it, but can't figure out how the door and breaks it entirely. Gao and Shauna hear the sound of the crashing door, refuses to leave, and reveals that he knows Xing is from a secluded island. Gao to get some new clothes. Xing tries on some outfits, while Gao steps out to give her some hides behind a wall, and closely watches as the stern woman enters the store.